Hello everyone, my name is Arundhati Amsani and welcome to my channel. In this session, I'm going to talk about stative verbs, and this is the part 2 of a 5-part series of videos on stative verbs. So in this part, I'm going to talk about stative verbs with examples that are suitable for beginners. Okay, so as we know, stative verbs are used to talk about senses. I've discussed this in part 1. So sense of sight, sense of taste, sense of touch, sense of sound, and sense of smell. Okay, so what are the verbs related to these senses? So feel, you feel something with your skin. Okay, that's the sense of touch. Hear, sound. Okay, hear is the act of hearing, and sound is how something sounds. Okay, and look, see, right? So it might look the same, but the meanings are different at some point. So look is the appearance of something, okay, how something looks. It can also have a dynamic meaning when you're looking at something, okay. And see is the act of seeing with your eyes, and it can also have the meaning of seeing someone, as in a professional appointment, like I'm seeing a doctor, okay. And smell, the act of smelling deliberately, the physical action, and also how something smells. Okay, so there is also a dynamic meaning to this word, and the same goes for taste as well. So when you say taste, it tastes good, you are talking about the condition of food. Okay, so this food tastes good. I'm trying to taste the food. Okay, so let me put it in a very interesting sentence. You say, will you try tasting this food, or can you taste this food? Okay, and after you've tasted it, you can say it tastes great. So in the first sentence in the question, you talked about it in dynamic form, the act of tasting, whereas in the second sentence, in the response, you are talking about the condition of the food. Okay, precisely, if you're looking at the dynamic aspect of it, you could also say, I'm tasting the food to adjust the salt. Okay, so that is how you could use the same word in stative and dynamic forms. Okay, so here are some examples for you. So this is what I mean. So you don't ask how is it tasting. If you want to know the taste of something, you don't ask how is it tasting, you just ask how does it taste. Now when you talk about the taste of something, you say it tastes sour, okay, as in lemon. If you can see this picture here, this is the taste of a lemon, which is sour. So you say it tastes sour, not it is tasting sour. Okay, now the same goes for seeing as well. So I'm seeing you. If you're able to see someone from far off, you don't say I'm seeing you. That means I'm dating you. Okay, so that's wrong. What you should really say is, I can see you, or I see you, right? And next one is with the sense of smell. Okay, similar to sense of taste, you don't say this rose is smelling good, because when you add is, it turns out that the meaning of that sentence is that the rose is actually doing the action of smelling, but here we are talking about the smell of the rose, okay, the condition of the rose. So you just say this rose smells good, right? And same with hear. If you can't hear someone, what do you say, especially when you're talking to someone on the phone? Okay, it's a very common mistake for people to say I'm not hearing you. Okay, even in the classroom as well, when you're sitting in the back benches, if you can't hear the teacher, you don't say I'm not hearing you. You should say I cannot hear you, or I can't hear you. Okay, that's more appropriate. It also has a dynamic meaning when you say I'm hearing some noises in the background. Okay, that means I'm able to hear. So that's a different thing. But when you're generally talking about your ability to hear, you can hear or you cannot hear, but you don't say I'm not hearing. Okay, and let's look at some other examples. So recognize. What is the meaning of recognize? Recognize is to be able to remember something that you have seen long ago. Okay, to identify. So for example, you have this high school friend whom you're meeting at a party after 20 long years, and he comes to you saying, do you recognize me? Okay, so you say either yes, I recognize you, or no, I don't recognize you. Okay, so this is the right way of saying, but you can't say, are you recognizing me? This might be a direct translation from other languages, which might make sense in those languages, but you can't say the same in English. Okay, so are you recognizing me is wrong. You should say, do you recognize me, or can you recognize me? Okay, right. Now again, about looks, as I said, look has two different meanings. So look is the appearance of something. So she is looking beautiful is wrong. Okay, if you say she is looking somewhere, she is looking out of the window, that makes sense. Okay, because that's a physical action. When you're adding is, it becomes a physical action. Here we are looking at the stative meaning of look, which means your appearance. So she looks beautiful. Okay, so this is about your permanent looks. Okay, doesn't she look beautiful? Right? She's the most beautiful woman in the world. Okay, so let's look at another example about looks again. So when you talk about looks of someone, you could also use the word appear. Okay, he is appearing handsome is wrong. Okay, because appearing actually means writing an exam or being on a TV show. But you can't use appearing for looks, because just as looks, appearance is also permanent. He appears handsome, but he is appearing for an exam. Let me add some more to this. This is the reason he appears nervous. Okay, so in two examples, I said he appears handsome, but he also appears nervous because he is appearing an exam. Okay, so that, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so that's about appearing. Let's go to the next one. Want. The child is wanting its mother. Okay, when you talk about want and desire, you don't use the is and ing, okay, in that sentence. So this is a state where the child wants its mother. Okay, so the child wants its mother is more appropriate. Now in the last sentence we have he is not wanting in enthusiasm. Okay, so wanting is another word for lacking. When you don't have something with you, you want that. Okay, so that's the meaning of wanting here. So he is not wanting in enthusiasm. That means he is not lacking in enthusiasm. Okay, so if you can see that picture, there is this office worker who is very happy and enthusiastic. Okay, so that is appropriate, right? So let's look at the next one, which is I'm wishing you all the best. Okay, even in wishing you can't say I'm wishing you, because that's a stative verb and you can't use it in ing form. So you say I wish you all the best. Okay, same goes for desire. David is desiring Lena. That's wrong. You say David desires Lena. They are getting engaged next week. So that makes sense. Next one is thinking. Okay, thinking can have multiple meanings. So thinking can be used to talk about opinions. Thinking can also be used to talk about planning. Here in this context, she is thinking of her future. Okay, so again, see, we can't say that. She is thinking of a future, even though it sounds correct, even though it is used in informal situations, you can't say she is thinking of her future. You say she thinks of her future, or she thinks about her future, or she thinks of becoming a scientist. That's more appropriate. Okay, and the same goes for feel. I'm feeling awkward is wrong. So you only say I feel awkward. Okay, awkward is to feel shy and embarrassed. You can say I'm being awkward, but you can't say I'm feeling awkward. Okay, being denotes that condition or situation where you're feeling awkward. Okay, but you can't say I'm feeling awkward. Okay, so I feel awkward is more appropriate. Yes, people. So the same goes for like. I'm liking ice cream is wrong because it's something that's permanent as a like. Okay, so I like ice cream or I don't like ice cream, but you can't say I'm liking ice cream. That's wrong. Okay, love. I'm loving English, that's wrong. I love English. Okay, so when you start loving English, or people, when you love English, English is fun. Okay, dislike, he is disliking me is wrong. What should you say in simple present? He dislikes me. Okay, and I'm hating smoking, I hate smoking. Which one is correct? You say I hate smoking. You can't say I'm hating smoking. Okay, so you're generally talking about your likes and preferences here. So those are some of the simple examples with stative verbs. Okay, so and these are appropriate for beginners because they're easy to learn. And people, if you have your own examples, try to work out sentences with these words, and you can always leave them in the comment section and refer to them. Okay, thanks for watching this video, and if you like it, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you.